Hi, class. I wanted to review your chapters 12 and 13 writing project. So this one is a little different. You have a choice in how you approach the project. You can either write a press release or you can write an advertising creative brief. And this can be about a product, a new service, maybe an upcoming event. You might choose to cover something that's coming up at UL, or maybe you want to review a particular product you're interested in. If there's a new makeup line, or maybe a new kind of tennis shoe that's coming out, or if you're into gadgets, new phone, new portable device of some kind. Anyway, whatever you're covering, you're either writing a press release or a creative brief. You do not have to write both of these things. It is one or the other. If you do write a press release, then it should include the title of your news release. So you're making up a title for this. You want to find some kind of contact information. Now, if you're working from a previously released press release, then you probably can find that media contact information pretty easily. If you're looking at something that maybe is more of an advertisement and you're writing it as a press release, then you might have to look a little harder to find that information. But you're going to put together some kind of media contact information for the press release you are writing. You want to also include a slug with the release date information, and we'll look at one in just a second. Also, your opening paragraph is going to introduce whatever your product, service, event, whatever it is that is happening. This needs to start with an AP style dateline, and then you will write essentially a lead like you did for your other projects, where you're telling someone right away, hey, this is what we are releasing, or this is our new service. Usually you want to come up with some kind of catchy way to get someone's attention as well. And then, of course, your middle paragraphs are going to review any additional important information about your product, event, or service. And finally, after you have some kind of call to action where you explain, any, you wrap up any additional details, you'll have a quick facts list as well as a reference section. So I can see where you found this information. You aren't completely making up a product or service. You're going to base this off of something that you researched and found somewhere, and you're rewriting that information as a press release. Now, before we move on to the creative brief, let's take a look at the public relations writing project example. So for this project, what I did is I found some information about a new recording arts degree offered at UL. So in the original article, which I have here in my references, it says they are developing a new recording arts program for students who do not play instruments or sing. And within this article, it gives me some key information about it, that it's designed to prepare graduates for jobs as music producers, sound engineers, blah, blah, blah. And they also include some information from the representative of the program, Chris Munson. And it also offers his title, if I didn't know it already, and any additional information about him and about the program. So if you look, I actually have a direct quote from Munson here as well. And whenever I rewrote this information, I included that quote as part of my new press release, but I incorporated it a little differently. So I introduced him as the professor involved with this and explain a little bit about the program. And my introduction, of course, is different from theirs because I am rewriting this. I am not copying it directly from there. So shortened it a little bit. About 4 paragraphs is usually good. We don't need a whole book. We just need to outline the information. If you look, this is the dateline I was talking about. That's an AP style dateline. And we also have a line saying this is for immediate release. If it's something where the information is supposed to be released on a particular day, that's when you would say hold until whatever the date is. And we also have a quick facts section here. So I outline the what, when, where, why, and for whom. And that offers additional information for the traditional news writing team covering this event, as well as a little line saying that there are additional opportunities for video and interviews. And down here, I have my references once again. And I included both the original press release information as well as a link to the School of Music page. Okay, so your second part, if you decide you don't want to write a press release, then you would write a creative brief instead. It's very similar. We're still answering a lot of the same questions. However, instead of writing everything out in paragraphs, you're actually using these bullet points to outline your research, objective statement, your single-minded proposition, and any supporting statements, target audience information, all those things we need to know whenever we are creating a creative brief. Now, whenever you write your creative brief, you want to either try the product or service yourself or review user comments or experiences about it. If you can, do both. You'll get even more information. You also want to, if you have a client you can interview them. However, I understand if you are not able to interview someone for it and it isn't a necessity, but it can be useful if you're able to interview someone. Now, your objective statement, you're looking at why are we advertising? What is the goal? So are we looking to increase brand awareness, increase sales, maybe promote a new product or a new angle for an older product? It really depends. So remember to answer that question, why are we advertising? And that'll help guide you as we figure out how the campaign is going to progress. You want to write a single-minded proposition, see how it fits into your bigger brand identity. So if you're writing one related to Nike, for example, Nike's primary identity single-minded proposition is just do it. So you want something that can work within the same spectrum. And remember, whatever your advertising SMP is, you're answering the question or the statement, buy this product and you will get this specific benefit. You're highlighting one unique feature or claim made about the product you're advertising. And you also want to see who your target audience would be. Now, this is where you would look at your particular product and see who usually buys it. Is this the group you think would normally purchase whatever it is you're selling? And you'll need to probably look up some research related information about a target audience to answer who they are. So the demographics, behaviors, psychographic information, and then also look at when you can air this particular commercial, or when and where you would have, let's say, a billboard, if you want to have it during the spring, or if it's something you would wait and advertise during the summer. So think about when you would want to advertise in order to best cover your target audience, and where you would advertise it. So those questions are part of our target audience information. And you also want to have a call to action, of course, because whenever you're advertising something, someone is paying you to create a targeted message that will achieve some sort of specific goal. So what do you want them to do? Do you want them to email? Do you want them to call? You want them to visit a store? Do you want them to buy whatever your product or service is, or just become aware of your brand and that particular service you are now offering? If we look at this example creative brief, you can see I still have, of course, all of my identifying information for the class. My title is the product name. In this case, it's the Google Pixel 6. And according to my research, it was advertised as less expensive than other new model phones at the time. They were also advertising their 3 unique colors for the Pixel 6. I looked at some professional reviews where they said that people felt like they were getting more bang for their buck with that one compared to the Pro version of the phone or phones from other developers. They also mentioned stuff like the Tensor chip, photo processing software, a new camera, all that kind of stuff. Look for key points that are specific to the product or service you are advertising. Now, the objective statement, we are advertising because we want to, of course, sell more Pixel phones, right? But not only that, we need to market it in a particular way. In this case, more phone users want to be able to shoot, edit, and share quality photos and videos from their devices. So that aspect of the phone is going to be highlighted in the campaign. And the campaign also references social aspects. Social media is a big part of advertising for most smartphones. So we've figured out more or less what our objective statement is, what kind of research we're doing, and also now we're able to look at our single-minded proposition. For this one, I wrote since the change as the SMP. Now, this is supposed to relate to the newness of the product and how it's actually a change for the Pixel. It's the first time they've ever updated the camera. So that was a new part. Also, they have a new chip inside the camera, updated software, a lot of new things happening. And in the original campaign by Google, they wrote completely reimagined inside and out. I wanted something a little shorter and snappier. And in this way, we're able to relate not just to the original Google, the Google SMP, but we're also able to relate, hopefully, to our target audience. So with supporting statements, we're looking to show how others have succeeded and why this is going to work. According to the Pew Research Center, more American adults than ever were using YouTube in 2021. We want to highlight the new camera and the improved sensors. You can do this by creating some kind of campaign that includes the Pixel's new features, as well as sort of a push for innovation, since that is a key component for most of our target audience. The 22 to 39 crowd, they're more involved in social media, more likely to react positively to an active campaign compared to a more passive one, like you would see in traditional TV models. So, and we also have a mention from our source, Bedford, where they said early adopters consider themselves tech savvy. So we want them to feel more like trendsetters by having them create their own little video campaigns. So user engagement, recruitment videos, as well as shorter 5 to 10-second ads. The longer ads may be skipped or they might decrease effectiveness. So you want to include that kind of information in your brief. Make sure that you're including little citations where you're where you're getting this information. And also, where are we advertising this? Well, we're focusing on YouTube and TikTok for this particular campaign. And how are we going to engage the audience? We're going to direct them to use the hashtag since the change and mention that they will have the possibility of being featured on Google's YouTube or TikTok accounts. So you can see we've outlined all the information. Everything's here, and it can be really fun putting together this information, figuring out what may or may not work. But again, we are basing these off of real products, and you should reference actual reviews of them or information you're getting from the manufacturer or whoever offers whatever service you're advertising. And I do also have references here as well. And you can see I reference not just videos, but also the Google Store and their TikTok account, as well as professional reviewers. And we do have some information from Pew Research. They do have a lot of really good information about different target audiences, demographics, and things. So if you're stuck, check them out, see if anything on there works for you. All right, well, that is everything for your chapters 12 and 13 project. Let me know if you have any questions about it, and I will do my best to answer them.